Okay, so let's talk about the Chromatica Ball. If you hear other noises in the background, it's definitely the rain. So we're having a little ASMR, sleepy rain moments if you like that. It's also, the Chromatica Ball. So I wanted to like re-talk about it because I already talked about it, how it really made me a stan. And now I've just been obsessed with it and I listen to it like every day. I've toned down on like the videos recently, and I've just kind of been into the Tokyo soundboard from both shows. I'm just like, why can't we get another soundboard? Can somebody please hack another soundboard? Because the soundboards are really good. Quality. Did I write that part down? I don't know. But anyways, I just have some like thoughts about it because I'm just like so obsessed with it, and it's like a completely different show than Lady Gaga has put on. Now, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong in any part. These are just my thoughts. I'm not like a super fan, but I'm definitely a fan, and I've kept up with her, especially since like the Born This Way era. You and I, pumping out them hits. You and I, Marry the Night, Edge of Glory. Um, and then my favorites are like Hair and Black Jesus. I'm on Fashion. And, okay, so let me continue on with Chromatica. By the way, I did do a Chromatica album review and I did not like it. So I might redo it. Just know if you ever listen to the Chromatica album review I did, like my thoughts are 90% different, a good like 80% different than what I said at the time. This album is like my favorite album. I played it like 3 times yesterday, and it's such a short album. That's what I kind of get from like these certain like recent albums. Like Bonus Way is what, like an hour long, it seems like. Um, Renaissance is another like really quick album. And then Chromatica is like another really quick album, but it's like they're really good albums, really great quality, definitely. But it's just like they're so quick, and I'm just like, this isn't what I grew up listening to. You grew up listening to like an hour and a good 60-minute album. Not anymore, but anyways, let me just ramble off some things. So the set list, I thought the set list was interesting. Oh, okay. This is where I can bring this up. I thought the set list was interesting. There was definitely a story there, but in the moment, I was not taking in the story. I was just really enjoying, the hits, really enjoying the energy, really enjoying the actually listening to these songs that I've been listening to for the last 15 years, 13, 14 years in the car with my family, with cousins, with at work, in my ears. Like it was such a. This was my second. This is so embarrassing. This is my second concert, and it was just like so amazing to listen to these songs from your favorite artists live. Like it was just like, this is what I've been waiting for. Like even at work, Rain on Me plays on the radio, Born This Way plays on the radio, Shallow and Hold My Hand comes on the radio. And I'm just like, I have to go listen. I had to go to this concert. I didn't know if I was gonna make it, but thankfully there was a Houston date added to the lineup, and I was able to go. I went to the Houston Ball, and it was like a pleasant experience, to be honest. No crazy like security or venue issues, none that I picked up at least. Like I got there, the only crazy thing was like the prices of everything, like $50-$60 for parking, a $25 margarita that wasn't even margarita-ing. I was just like over it. I'm like, I needed some water. I didn't think about getting some water, and I thought I was gonna pass out a couple of times. Let me remember. I think definitely like I had to like slow down by the time like replay in 911 was going on. Like I felt myself like oh my god, something's gonna happen. And then I got my Chromatica sweater. I was wearing the Chromatica sweater. I had to take that off. I put my phone in my pocket. It fell off. This like lovely young lady, she was just like, "Oh, your phone fell." I'm like, "Oh my god, how embarrassing! I feel so stupid. Like, come on, Derek, get it together." And so, yeah, like I really thought, like, especially towards the end of the show, I really was like, "Oh my gosh!" Thank God there was something like $15 bottle water outside the venue. And I was able to like down that and come back to life and cool down. The funny, hilarious part was the dome, I think it was Minute Maid Park. Minute Maid Park was closed. So you would think it would be hot in there. But like, for some reason, I was so cool, it felt good all up until the concert was done and it wasn't hot anymore. Also, I didn't say this on the last one. So I'm like my final destination, once I finally found the correct seats that I was sitting in, it was like really it was like literally on the edge of glory, like literally on the edge of the right hand side of the stadium, on the ground, on the floor, up in the front on the right hand side. So I'm seeing, like, you can see, um you can't really see backstage, but like you could kind of, yeah, you can kind of see where the backstage and stuff was. So everybody's like walking through, security is walking through, or the venue workers are walking through, people are walking through, fans are walking through, like the area where the car is going to come through, right? That's what I'm trying to set it up. The car comes through. The cars are coming through, and the people are screaming, so we all know who, it's about to start. People are, Gaga's in the building. So the cars are coming through, and then security all of a sudden wants to like, oh, wait, y'all gotta stop coming through. Everybody stop coming through here. So it was like really funny, like security. Yeah, that's how lax the security was. I'm talking about like no security issues. Yeah, that's how lax everything was. Like after the cars are coming through, people they want to like stop people from walking through certain entrances and exits. I'm like cracking. I was cracking up. I was like, what the hell is this? But anyways, okay, that was a little tidbit I did not say that I meant to say in my other one. Um, I don't think anything else funny happened except for like this guy like looked very uncomfortable looking at me. I don't know who he was, but he was with his friend and like he looked very uncomfortable. Oh, I saw somebody, this like really country looking dude. He had a hat and it said "Lone Star Gay." That was a funny moment. I like that moment. Um, but anyway, so the set list, like I said, let's just go back to the set list. The set list had a like specific story going on, but like I said, in the moment, I definitely wasn't checking out any kind of like story. Biggest hits. Her movements are restricted by her wardrobe. Fame is prison, and her status as Lady Gaga inflicts pain on her. As the platform she's on spins her around, she's being paraded in her pain. And I was like, oh, that makes a whole lot of sense. These songs that have made her famous contribute to her pain, which we know like Chromatica was about like um like confusion in her identity, not wanting to make music anymore, not wanting to be Lady Gaga anymore because of like the fame, quote unquote, I guess, fame monster that it has brought on. So I was just like, okay, so that makes sense, which is really cool. I didn't really have a problem with it. It was just like, hey, let's pump them out. Bad Romance, Just Dance, Poker Face, like these are her biggest hits. Um, Two of them. Well, I really enjoyed this version of Just Dance. I have to say, like, there was definitely I was listening, getting other people's thoughts and theories about the Chromatica tour, and there was definitely this character she's playing, and it definitely starts off at Bad Romance, and then it ends definitely at maybe Babylon Free Womanish, going into Born This Way and like the piano section. Uh, Definitely. One thing about the set list, I think Plastic Doll is like my favorite song, and I think it's a lot of people's favorite songs. And Plastic Doll definitely talks about the fame. Same with Fun Tonight. So I was kind of surprised that it wasn't in there. There was no art pop songs, which is kind of befitting in a sense. Art pop is a little bit more fun in the lyric and the music, and this wasn't really a fun time show in a sense, even though that's where I think I was kind of expecting like a really good fun time. Like the first part is definitely, black and gray and screaming, and the visuals like that, like her hooked up to all these like wire, that machine, that was jarring and very, like, even talking about it, like I get a little like nervous or something in my stomach. Like it was very like, ooh, what the fuck am I going to, what am I watching? What is this? Okay, so Alejandro was supposed to be in the set list, but it got switched out allegedly for Enigma. I'm not sure who told them, who made this rumor up or whatever. I'm glad Enigma is there. People really wanted Alejandro. This is like the first time since forever. Wait, right? I think Art Pop Tour maybe, but this is the first time that Alejandro, a fan favorite, was not in a tour. Paparazzi could have been in there in a sense. I don't know. I don't know how that would have worked. Now knowing like the show, I don't know how that would have worked. But hey, Telephone. People don't like Telephone. I don't know why people don't like Telephone. I love Telephone. Telephone is a classic to me. Telephone is like like blending of really great singers, Gaga and Beyonce. They really sang Telephone to the telephone. Like it's amazing. They were like, they should have switched Telephone out for like Paparazzi or Alejandro or something. And I was just like, oh. Also on Telephone, I don't know what this means, what's going on, but Beyonce's vocals are not on Telephone at all. Like we went from playing, and I guess maybe this is growth in time, but we went from playing her verse in the like earlier part of her career to like, I don't even hear Beyonce at the end of Telephone with her little ad libs. Like it's weird. I don't know what that's about, but I'm keeping my eye on you. And I think this kind of started with the Enigma shows in Vegas. By the way, I don't know why I thought Enigma was going to be like a bunch of new songs. And because I keep forgetting people don't go to Vegas to debut new music, right? They go to Vegas to sing the hits. Like, that's what everybody does, except for like Celine, in a sense. Everybody but Celine kind of goes to Vegas to sing the hits. And so I was like, don't know what I was thinking. I was kind of disappointed in Enigma. That's why I haven't, personally, I kind of checked out. Also, those wigs were horrendous. And actually listening to Enigma, it was a very thought out, really great storyline put together by her music, her catalog. Very beautiful storyline. And it made sense. And it had like really great music, really, Dance in the Dark and Shiza and what other songs did she sing? She sang like everything. But it was just like really great incorporation. But those wigs, and people were like, it's a reflection, or like, have you seen what she used to look, or her earlier work, like when she first came up with the Fame? And I'm like, she looks better in the Fame than she does in this Enigma shit, like hands down. Plastic Doll wasn't in the set list, like I said. Sign from Above. Those are the only two songs. Sign from Above, Sign from Above, and Plastic Doll. She sang pretty much everything else, whether it got dropped or whether it got added. Wait, no, I don't think anything got. Yeah, nothing really got added. Whether something got dropped or not. Interesting. Angel Down. I didn't understand why she sang Angel Down. I was kind of confused, even though I do like Angel Down. But it was like her way of talking politics without, saying something. Originally, I believe she said the song was inspired by the Trayvon Martin situation. But one thing I did notice that this is the work tape version and not the album version. The work tape version, I think maybe the piano possibly, but I want to know what I really want to know what her process is when making the set list. That's really what I want to know. Because, like I said, she didn't sing the album version. She sang the work tape version, and I'm thinking maybe that it was the piano aspect that she had brought to it. Ariana. I guess I'm just rambling off things now. Ariana. I was really expecting Ariana Grande to join her at one show. Whether like London or Miami, which, the Miami show ended up getting canceled mid-show. Well, not mid. They got through a pretty good chunk of the show. She was like, I think she heard something during Edge of Glory, and she tried to rush through Angel Down. And I don't think did she finish Angel Down? I'm not sure. But I was expecting, Ariana's from Florida or LA. I really was expecting her. That would have been such a beautiful, cool moment. This show was so... Oh, wait. No opener. I think a lot of people had issue with no opener. Even though, it gives like this big title and probably less money to spend. But no opener was really jarring and really, I wasn't a fan of it. It was this playlist with the same beat, but like different artists singing different songs. Like I remember like SWV's Rain was playing. I think Usher played. And I think it might have been the Alice beat or so. I don't know. It was some beat I did not like. I like the singing. I like, oh, okay, I need that mix. I need that remix. Okay, that sounds a little cute. Okay, no, that one doesn't sound too cute. But it was just like an hour, 2 hours full of this like, do with rain down on me. Why don't you rain down on me? I want to sing rain because that's all I remember. And I was just like, ooh, girl, where's your opener? Or can we, plug in download my playlist? Because this ain't cute. Like, nobody wants to hear this. Like, play the album of anything. Play the album. Play your catalog. Don't give us some, like, I don't know what the hell that was about. It was weird. This show is very strict. Very okay. I feel like strict is a generic word to use. It was very rehearsed, very specific. I don't know if it's because of COVID. Her boundaries with fans now that I'm hearing. I don't know what happened, but it was very like there wasn't a lot of fan interaction, and the choreography was very specific. Like I feel like she stayed focused on choreography with her headset, no cord mic, no microphone except for the piano part, which is cool. I love it. I love it. Dance, even though some of the choreography was trash. Yeah, some of the choreography was trash, and some of the dancing was trash. But then some of the choreography was very innovative, like the Just Dance and the Poker Face like her spinning around on that spinning thing and doing like minimum choreography, but singing. That was amazing. That's like my favorite part because it's so interesting. Like that character she's playing, this like pissed off character, where I thought she was exhausted. I was like, oh girl, oh this tour's kicking her ass. Oh, she needs to go take a nap. I was really like kind of concerned. Cause her face, like all I could really see was her face. Also, like from my seats, her like the seats were trash, in a sense. In a sense of like seeing the stage, it was trash. But in a sense of like enjoying and dancing around with people, like it was amazing. But the seats were trash. But like seeing like her face, I really didn't see what was going on stage. I was very confused, and I wasn't confused. I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna like dance through it. Thank God, YouTube, people have like cameras and tape the whole show, and like it's been a crazy fun moment rewatching stuff. But I'm like, I couldn't see anything. But like this show was very specific, and it was sort of like maybe an adult poppy pop show that she has grown into. I guess we'll see like the next tour what it turns out to be. There was no letters. Excuse me. There was like no fans on stage. Blockage on. Oh, and then there was like that video of like this blockage thing on the stage. I don't know what that was, if that was real. It was like some kind of vortex. I don't know. That was interesting. There was no fans. It was like very like choreography specific. Walk here. She didn't really work the stage like I kind of expected. I think her guitar players worked the stage more than she did. Like they went everywhere on the stage. Yeah. It was very specific. One wig piece that I was told that they just like sprayed it down or whatever for the ending, which was interesting. The makeup was very specific. It was not like normally she has like a lot of these costume changes on stage, like Art Rave and Enigma and the Joanne tour. Like a lot of these, costume changes on store, like very theatrical. It wasn't that theatrical. There was like one, two, like take off a jacket, put on put on the red jacket for like Monster, and then put on that huge gold robe that was absolutely beautiful. It absolutely was amazing. That moment was amazing. And then the headpiece for Free Woman and Babylon, I think my favorite costume is definitely the gold suits from Alexander McQueen. The rest of the costumes weren't that, Oh, okay. The red one for Allison, Replay, and Monster. And then third would be like the opening costume. And the rest of them was just like, okay. I thought she was wearing the Michael Jackson, because I know she owns a lot of Michael Jackson pieces. And I thought like the ending leather jacket was Michael's, but I'm not sure. She kept doing like her Billie Jean dance throughout like Telephone and Stupid Love throughout the show, which was funny. But whatever. Um yeah, like there wasn't a whole lot of like wardrobe changes, which was cool. It was very adultish in my opinion, very non-theatrical. I enjoyed it. I don't think I have any complaints about that. But like it just seemed like the fan interaction wasn't really there like it normally was, except for like when she went out into the crowd, looking at different videos. It was like some days, some concerts, she was sort of interacting, and some concerts she was just sort of just interacting with the camera. Hey, and that's that on that part.
Next car, honey, next car.
So let me say this before I forget. I've been putting off this, talking about the Chromatica Ball revamp in a sense after like some months now. I'm obsessed with it still, like I said. It's really straight because I think like the music was really, really great, but the merch, some of the merch I didn't care for. I really just wanted that Chromatica sweater. I think I liked other cities' sweater. They were a little bit more colorful. But they all look really, really great. They all look really, really great. I've only worn it like once, or twice, three times since September. But one piece of merch I really was wanting, and it was only at the Miami show, was the Fun Tonight hat. And so I was like, oh shit, what the hell? So Wednesday, the link goes out to the Chromatica tour merch being sold on her website. And I was like, okay, let me go check it out. And so I'm scrolling along. I don't really like buying stuff online, but I'm like, okay, let me look. I see the Fun Tonight, I'm not having fun tonight hat. And I'm like, okay, let me get it. So I go to purchase it along with the Free Woman shirt, because I'm just like, I was so like, Free Woman is like my favorite song. It's crazy vocally. It's like a visual, the lyrics are visual. Like I wish there was a video for it. I see a video for it every time I listen to it. And I go to purchase it, and it says the Fun Tonight hat is out of stock in 11 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? Like, I literally was mad for like an hour, for like 30 minutes to an hour. I was so pissed. I was like, and I don't even wear hats. I don't even wear fucking hats. I could give a fuck about a hat. But I wanted that Fun Tonight hat because that was a song I did not particularly care for, but when she sang it and she was like grooving and popping and locking and dropping it, she was feeling. I was like, oh, I'm not having fun tonight either. I adored that song. I love the piano into the album version of the song. It was like an incredible moment in the show for me. Also, Angel Down was another incredible vocal moment for me. We'll talk about vocals in a few seconds. But Fun Tonight, I was so pissed that you guys all bought the Fun Tonight. Like, was there like 200 Fun Tonight hats? Because that's how everybody was getting everything. People were getting stuff. And then I go to check out and it says it's out of stock. And I'm like, out of stock? Was it in stock? So, okay, vocally, there were some interesting moments. But I feel like there's like this soulful thing to Lady Gaga's voice. There's like this black woman soulful thing. I don't know if it was like growing up listening to Whitney, but like her belting, this sort of like when she gets into her jazz feeling, it's like this like quote unquote old soul, old feeling that comes out that's not in her. It's not necessarily in like Alejandro or Just Dance, except when she's like belting that last note after the bridge. It's not in like poker face. It's like this soulfulness that comes out, and I'm just like, I just love her voice. Her voice is so dynamic, like from Joanne to Shallow to Donatella. Like it's so dynamic, and it's pop, it's jazz. It has like this R&B flavor to it, and it's like effortless. It's effortless. It's not like fake. It's not contentious. It's like real. It's real. That's what I really love about her voice. But this tour, I think the Joanne tour was really, really good. The Enigma was decent. There was like that Apollo Theater thing on Sirius XM. I was like turned off. I don't know what the hell happened to her voice at that point. Maybe it was like working too much or something. I don't know. But this tour, it was vocally okay. It had its like really great moments. The one thing I really was confused about was how was she belting, singing beautifully on Free Woman, Babylon, Free Woman, Replay, really sounding really great. But then we get to like the end of the show for like Stupid Love and Rain on Me, and she sounded a fucking mess. Like I don't think there was a good show. Maybe the European shows are really, really great vocally, but once you got to America, baby, those two songs and then Hold My Hand like kicked her ass. And I'm just like, what happened? You were just belting out like I'm a free woman. And then Stupid Love, like she was making some weird vocal choices. She's making some weird vocal choices. I don't know if she was like dancing too much or like, I don't know what it was, but it's like, I've never seen her sound like that. Or like, I don't know. And then it's like Rain on Me. She doesn't even have like a whole lot going on Rain on Me. So I was like confused why. And then she kept singing, We're in a World Full of Innocence. I don't think maybe it's the demo version. Oh, shout out to the demo version. The demo version of Free Woman is amazing. It's so interesting listening to the demo version and then the actual album version. But like, I think the demo version of 911 leaked, and she was giving a nod because she was singing the beginning part that's not in the demo version. The Come Save Me part. I believe that was in the demo version, and she sang it live. And it was like, okay, she knows what's up. If anybody else like caught that, like I don't know if I was the only one that caught that. But yeah, like the vocal choices for Stupid Love, Right on Me, and then Hold My Hand. I don't know what happened. Like I was really turned off, especially at the Houston show. I was really like, oh shit, what's going on? Like I was not impressed. And I did not. And Rain on Me, the vocals from Europe in the first shows, that's what like really like, I was like, oh, she sounds so fucking good. I gotta go to this fucking concert. That's what sold me to go. Okay, but anyways, Hold My Hand. People were saying on Reddit, was she contractually obligated to sing this song? Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, for the fan, how she made it into a fan moment made sense, but like, overall, singing the song last was like, girl, Check, please. Nobody enjoyed it, and I thought it was weird. Some reviews thought it was not necessary. Like they were turned off with it by it. I was turned off by it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Overall, this was a really great show, a really successful show. I think there was like a taping in Los Angeles, and so I don't know if this was like head information that came through, or it was just like speculation that turned into rumors talking that came through. But they were like, there's this interview with Zayn talking about the Chromatica Ball, and it's coming out in December. So next month, December's like next week. So we'll see if that happens. I'm excited. I really hope it happens. I'm purchasing any way to review this show, just like I'm purchasing any way to look at the Formation show, the Renaissance show. Like, I mean, the visuals for Renaissance, like, I'm down. I'm here. Take my credit card. Let's watch. But people were saying, since the show was taped, and then that's the other thing. Like, she's one artist that, like, her tapings are horrible. Also, this is like another flop in a sense of her shows not being able to finish. The only like shows she's been able to finish were whatever, like the Born This Way, and then Art Rave. Oh, okay, and then Enigma, but that wasn't a tour. She had to cancel the Born This Way ball because of her hip. I'm sorry, and then she did the Art Rave. Took years to do the Joanne tour, which she had to cancel because of her fibromyalgia. And then, unfortunately, the last leg of this, there was no big finale for the Miami Chromatica Ball, which is unfortunate. I really wish it would have went to South America. She went to Tokyo. I think she was fighting to get to Tokyo because she said something like that when she went to Tokyo. She said, I really wanted to bring this to Tokyo, which is really cool. Shout out to Tokyo. They always get a good special shit over there. Exclusive music, Mariah, Lady Gaga. Everybody loves and gives Tokyo shit. I don't know what we got to do to get some good shit over here. I think that's all I want to say about it. Everybody really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm still watching videos and videos. Hopefully, this DVD or interview is real or is going to happen, and we're able to watch it. People were saying the Chromatica Ball merch being sold was a way of saying goodbye. I heard the rumors. It's not true. Here's some merch. Here's some leftover merch, as some were tweeting. But yeah, I think that's all I want to say about the Chromatica Ball. I'm putting my stamp of I gotta move on. I gotta finally move on from this tour and listening to these songs. I'm still listening to these songs because I really. Also, Alice. I would say a couple of moments in the show was a little bit of a womp womp. Personally, the sound, her vocals were a little bit louder than the music. There were no backup sounds, so it was it was weird. That part was weird. I don't understand that part. It wasn't the backup backgrounds weren't turned up. They kind of seem a little bit lower. Alice, I don't know what to say. I didn't like Alice in the beginning. I really like Alice now. It was just the energy kind of dipped. I think also the interludes mixed with the videos and the visuals. The visuals were really incredible, even though they were jarring. Some of them, they were really incredible. And I feel the quality of the videos were still really incredible, but the time period, I feel kind of dipped, and them playing Alice, I feel a lot of people weren't bopping to Alice like they were bopping to Stupid Love or Rain on Me, which was interesting. Also, 911 was a little bit of a dip. 911 Sour Candy, to me, in my opinion, it was a little bit of a dip in the energy. But hey, whatever. Um, this is the Dare Show podcast. Thanks for listening. You can click around on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube, and listen to other podcasts that I have. Thank you. Bye.
Girl!